Okay guys, I'm making this video to be a quick tutorial for those of you that want to understand how to actually get jobs and make revenue through Upwork. I'm going to cover all of the essentials, and all of the essentials include how many proposals you should be sending in a month, in a week, in a day, how much that's going to cost you in terms of connect, so you can anticipate what kind of budget you would need to do that kind of outreach on Upwork, how to actually send proposals in a way that sets you up to have an advantage. For example, are you using personalized cover letters? Are you going to use Loom videos in your cover letter? What's the right way to do it? I'm going to break that down, and I'm also going to show you how to have the right template for your proposal as a cover letter. And then we're going to talk about what actually happens after you get a response from a prospect through Upwork. How do you deal with that? How do you then turn that conversation into a paying prospect? I'm going to cover all of this for you, and I'm talking from my own experience through Upwork. I've made over $100,000 through Upwork selling Facebook ads management services, just digital marketing services. And I'm going to show you essentially the whole path of what I took and how I did it, and hopefully that will serve to benefit you. Now, the first thing I want to jump into is how many proposals you should send. And this completely depends on your budget. There is no right answer because it depends how much you're willing to allocate in Connect fees. Now, if you don't know what Connects are, it's basically the tokens on the Upwork platform that you have to buy in order to apply to contracts, so you can then make money from those contracts. Now, as a rule of thumb, 1,000 Connects cost $150 plus tax. Okay, and so let's say hypothetically you want to bid on 10 contracts a day, which is what I did. Now, this is a very aggressive amount of contracts because 10 contracts a day is 300 a month. 300 contracts a month is a lot. Whoops, sorry. So 10 times 30 days, that's 300 contracts in an entire month. And as a rule of thumb, each contract costs anywhere from 12 to 16 connects in order to apply to it. And so let's just take the medium and say each contract costs 14 connects to apply to. Then we multiply the amount of contracts we've applied to in a month by 14, because each of them costs 14 connects. That's 4,200 connects per month. In order for me to apply to 300 contracts, it's going to cost $630 plus tax. And I was spending anywhere from $600 to $750 a month on average on connects. Now, I understand a lot of you guys watching this, that may be too much of a steep budget, and I completely understand. And you should pick a number of proposals that is within your budget. And so what I highly recommend, and this ties into my next point, which is how much you actually should send, it's depending on your budget, but you should pick a number daily. And what I mean by that is, I would apply to 10 contracts a day without fail. I picked the number 10 and I never failed to send 10 a day until Upwork was profitable for me. And so you don't have to pick 10, but you have to pick a number and be consistent every single day. You don't want to do Mondays, Tuesdays, Wednesdays, and take Thursdays and Fridays off and then go back to Saturdays and Sundays. You want to commit to a number and say every single day, I'm going to bid on this many contracts. So let's say hypothetically, you're happy with the number 3. Well, 3 contracts a day means you're applying to 90 a month. 90 contracts, each of them cost 14 connects, means 1,260 connects. That's $189 in order to apply to 3 a day. So I would go into my Upwork account, I'd go to connects, which will take you to this page, and reverse engineer from your budget how much you can afford a day. How many contracts can you afford to bid on a day? It's really important you find that number because you want to bid on that many contracts every single day without fail. It will help you and lead you towards success on Upwork if you're consistent. And I truly believe there's an aspect of the Upwork's algorithm that sees that you are bidding consistently every single day without fail. And because of that, it helps you rank when people are looking for prospects to invite to contracts. And Upwork will help boost you out and potentially even show you higher up on the list of the contracts you have applied to, so that the prospect sees your name at the top of the list of all the others that have applied. So I really think it's one of the biggest advantages to be consistent. Most people are not. So if you can pick a number and stick to it every day, you will be ahead of other people. Now, I'm just going to jump into the meat of this video, which is basically how do you actually send proposals? And I know a lot of you guys watching this want to know, how do I structure the cover letter? How do I pick the right jobs? How do I do all these things? Well, for me, it was very simple. I would just go to find work and I would simply scroll down, and this isn't my profile, but let me type in Facebook ads because Facebook ads is what I did. I would find specifically Facebook ads jobs, Facebook advertising. And so you can see here all the jobs that have come up. Let's go to page 1. You can see here all the jobs that have just come up in relation to Meta ads, Facebook ads, Instagram ads, which was my specialty. So the first step is go to find work, type in the keywords that are relevant to your skills. If you need to filter down on specific countries, then make sure you filter down on location, client location here. If you want to filter down any further, you can do, but I never did. I would just type in Facebook ads or Instagram ads, and I would simply scroll down and find ones that are relevant, that were most recent. That's what I'm looking for. I'm looking for the most recent ones. I'm not looking for the best, most relevant, oh my God, this is the most perfect contract ever. I'm looking for the ones that are the most recent, that are relevant to my skill. So I can see here, Meta Ads Campaign Specialist for Affluent Women Targeting. Great, this was posted 3 minutes ago, featured, which means the client paid to get this proposal shown to people, which means they're serious. You know, they've spent money on posting this contract from their side. And so I would put that up. Paid media, lead gen, CRO expert for home improvement. Great. Facebook ads expert for leading agency. Well, hang on. So this one's Google PPC, so that's not relevant. Let's get rid of that. Facebook ads expert for leading agency. No, agency is great. I'm a freelancer in this case, so that's 36 minutes ago. That's relevant. Meta ad specialist, 41 minutes ago. Performance marketing, media buyer, nope. 360 marketing assistant, nope. Nope, creatives only, Instagram ads, that's relevant. And let's go to page 2. Meta ad specialist for Instagram and Facebook. Now, all of these were within the past hour, which is great. So within the past 60 minutes, 5 contracts have been posted that we've found that are relevant to us. And so these are the ones that I would look to apply to. Now, depending on how many contracts you're applying to on this particular day, let's say you've decided to bid on 5 contracts a day, you want to find 5. If you've decided that you want to bid on 10 contracts a day, continue until you found 5 more. So you can have 10 open in different tabs. And then each of them, just click on the Apply Now button for every single one. And now you're ready to apply to each of these contracts. Now, as we scroll down, the first thing it will ask is what is the rates you'd like to bid on the job. Now, I like to keep this within the client's budget. And if I'm being completely honest with you guys, I set this as a placeholder to be on the lower end of the client's budget, because the number you put here does not mean that you have to accept that rate for the job. The number you put here, if it's too high, will simply just deter the client from wanting to even speak to you. And everything we're doing with this proposal is structured so that the client will reach out to us. Once they reach out to us, we can then get on a call, we can negotiate, we can discuss the rate, we can understand more about the project and the requirements and quote them more accurately. And so the last thing you want to do is say, oh, I actually want this project for, $50 an hour. And you put $50 an hour, and you can see their budget here is $8 to $15. And when they're looking at the list of all the freelancers that have applied and they see you've put $50 an hour, they're simply not even going to look at your profile. They're not going to message you. And that's just a wasted contract that you've bidded on. So remember, you simply just do not want to deter them with this part. So I would just put the lower end of their budget, because we don't have to proceed with that. This just gives us the option to speak with them. Then as we scroll down, schedule a rate increase. I always say never. And now it's time for the cover letter. Now this is the fun part. This is where we're going to head on over into ChatGPT. Now, assuming that you don't actually have a cover letter already, I'm going to show you how to produce one in a few seconds. If you have a cover letter, great. You can still use ChatGPT to optimize it, and I'm going to give you a few tactics on how to do that. But assuming you have absolutely no cover letter and you want to produce one right now, here's what you do. You'll head on over to ChatGPT and you'll say, my name is Ali. I am a Facebook advertising specialist. I studied marketing at University of Manchester. I've worked with clients such as Ella Sarah, Mercury Holidays. Who else should I put? I'll put Gloss Kitchens to manage their Facebook ads campaigns. I specialize in lead gen and e-com conversion, Meta ad campaigns. I want you to write me an Upwork cover letter for contracts I will be bidding on that require Meta ads management support. I want you to set small sections that will be personalized. Put those sections in. I want it short and sweet, not long. Let's see what it produces just from this. Now, this is just without giving it any prior information. I've literally just told it a little bit about myself. I've said, write me an Upwork cover letter, and let's see what it produces. Hi, I specialize in running high converting meta ad campaigns for industry. With a marketing degree from the University of Manchester and hands-on experience managing campaigns for brands like Elisera, Mercury Holidays, Gloss Kitchens, I know how to drive both lead generation and e-commerce conversions. Here's how I can help you. Personalized benefit based on job description, that's the personalized section. Data-driven campaigns, A to B testing, transparent reporting so you know exactly what you're looking for. If you'd like, I can share specific results from previous campaigns to, and then the client's niche. So let's just take this section here because that's the bulk of the cover letter. And then let's head on over into Word. Let's paste that in so we can take a proper look. Okay, let's make this a little bit bigger. Right. I specialize in running high converting meta ad campaigns for industry niche. I'm going to put here because we want ChatGPT to personalize this as either e-commerce or lead gen, anything related to the contract. If no information, then write. I specialize in running high converting meta ad campaigns for both e-commerce and companies requiring lead generation. Okay. And bear in mind, guys, I'm going with the first thing ChatGPT has given me. You can go back and forth with ChatGPT and ask it to tweak and change and amend. I'm just showing you as a concept how easy it is to actually produce a personalized cover letter using ChatGPT. And I'm going to show you how this section will come together shortly. With a marketing degree, blah, blah, blah. Here's how I can help personalize. I like this section. That's good. If you'd like, I can share specific roles relevant to this project. I don't want that part to be personalized. We just need that top part to be. Perfect. Okay, so now we have ourselves our template cover letter. And now we'll go on to ChatGPT and say, I am going to give you a few job descriptions. No, I'm going to give you a job description for a contract I will apply to. And then I will ask you to personalize my cover letter to tailor to that job. Here is my latest cover letter. Note the personalized sections in. Okay, so now we will paste our latest cover letter that we just slightly edited in Word right here, and we feed it in. And now it's going to wait for us to give it the job description. So we're about to apply to this one, the 1 of 5, and we come in here and we basically are just going to copy the job description. This one has very limited information. We know they're based in New York City. We know that they're targeting affluent women. And then we'll head on back over to ChatGPT and say, here is job number 1, and just paste it in. And now it's going to give us our outputted tailored cover letter that's specialized. So I specialize in running high converting meta ads for companies requiring lead gen. It said lead gen instead of e-commerce because we gave it those 2 options and it realized that this one is more tailored to lead gen. Now, obviously, you can personalize it in different ways. You can ask for more specifics depending on your niche. But you can see now this is a more tailored cover letter for this specific job. And then we can just paste it in. We can change these sections, make it look a lot more professional, etc., spacing. Now, this is step 1 of having a good cover letter. But step 2, and probably the most impactful thing you can do, is using Loom. Now, for those who don't know what Loom is simply a platform where you can screen record and also show your camera. So when you see a screen record and the camera is in the corner of the screen, you can do that with Loom. And one thing that I highly, highly recommend taking advantage of with Loom is you can produce one video, only one time, and this is what I did, one video where you simply introduce yourself saying, and this is what I said in my video. Hi, my name is Ali. I'm a Facebook ads specialist. I've been doing this for 7 years. I've worked with companies like Lost Kitchens, Mercury Holidays, Ella Sarah, and I've come across your contract and I'm very confident that I can deliver exactly what you're looking for. Let me show you some of the results I've delivered in the past. It's a 3-minute video. It's super simple. It's super short. It's not overcomplicated. You don't need a wild portfolio for this. The whole purpose of this is to get the opportunity to introduce yourself before you've even got on a call with the prospect. Because if you record this video, once it's done, what you're going to do is download it. So you've recorded the video once and you've downloaded it. And then we'll go back to Loom. Once it's downloaded, I'm going to head on over into Loom. And what we're going to do in this case is we're going to upload the video again, because we're applying to a new job. And I'll show you why we do this. We're doing this because we are going to change the title of the proposal of the Loom video to match the title of this, Meta Ads Campaign Specialist for Affluent Women Targeting. The reason we do that is because when we include this Loom video in our cover letter, they're going to go to loom.com, they're going to see the video, and they'll notice that the title matches the title of their contract. And they'll also notice that the time this video was uploaded was, in the past 30 minutes. So it gives the impression that this video was recorded specifically for them, which again gives off the impression of personalized video recording, which has a much higher response rate. This was probably the biggest factor which attributed me getting a lot of responses through Upwork. It was taking advantage of these Loom videos. You can see how many have been re-uploaded here. I've got 4,512 videos re-uploaded, and all of them were just duplicates with different titles, so I could take different links and put them in different cover letter proposals. And so once this is now officially uploaded, we'll go into the video. We will paste this in here, and I like to put the date at the end, so 18 September 2025. Then we'll copy the link. Please watch this Loom I made for you. And now you have at the top of your cover letter something that's much more unique and impactful than other people. You've recorded a video that's going to come across personalized that nobody else, well, most people do not do, and it will help you get a lot more responses. Now, bear in mind, this cover letter I wrote was just off the cuff, whatever came up in ChatGPT. But you obviously want to refine this. You want to go back and forth with ChatGPT until you have a customized structure that you're very, very happy with. But I wanted to show you guys that you can use ChatGPT to literally customize each cover letter for each contract without you having to put much effort in. Because prior to this, and this is how I did it, I had to actually manually write out different sections and had to read each cover letter, each job description, but you don't have to do that anymore. And now you'll head down. If you have anything in your portfolio that is very relevant, I would highly recommend adding this. And then you just go ahead and apply. And then you do the same thing for the other 4. And now you've done your 5 for the day. And I assure you, if you do this consistently every day for a month, it's very difficult not to close contracts and clients. And once you close contracts and once you get clients and you get reviews on your profile, it becomes easier the next month and then the next month, and then it becomes more and more profitable. And I tell you that not only from my own experience, but from all the clients I've actually managed. For those who don't know, I run an agency called Upmatch.io. We do the bidding on behalf of our clients. We have over 80 active clients. I've serviced hundreds to date under Upmatch. And so I see in different niches from accounting, law, software development, digital marketing, the type of performance you can get with the same methodology that we use for all of them, which is Loom videos, personalized cover letters, and also bidding on contracts that were recently posted. And so that is how I apply to proposals. It doesn't need to be overcomplicated at all. And it's actually a lot more simpler than you would have thought. And so now the next question is, what do you do once you've received a message? So in the messages section, once one of these contracts, let's say this one we've applied to, we get a response. The response, regardless of what they say, your entire objective has to be to get them on a call. Now, you may not be comfortable with sales calls, you may not be comfortable speaking on video calls, but it's something that you need to develop in order to close clients for more. Now, if you want to sell a service for $1,000, $2,000 a month, which is what I was doing, you need to get better at your ability to take those calls. If you're selling a service for $200, $300, maybe not necessarily essential for you to get on a call with them. You could probably close them through the chat, but it'll increase your chances. So I highly recommend, regardless of what price you're selling your service, regardless of what niche you're in, getting better at speaking to the clients on a call will massively impact your success. So when they message you, regardless of what they say, I would get messages saying, hey, Ali, I have a few more questions. Could you answer this? Or I would also get messages saying, hey, Ali, could you tell me a little bit more about this experience you had with this company that you mentioned in the Loom video? And I'd get other responses that say, hey, Ali, thank you so much for the Loom video. That's really cool. Can we get on a call? Regardless of whatever message I get, even if it's questions, I will answer those questions and then I will follow up with, I highly recommend we get on a call so I could understand more about your project and answer your questions in more depth. So everything I send is completely tailored to the idea that I want to get on a call with them so I can complete the sale. And that's really all there is to it in order to do outreach, guys. Like with this method, you're using personalized videos, you're using personalized cover letters, you're applying to contracts that were recently posted. You're not doing anything to deter the prospect with a really high hourly rate when you propose the bid. And you're basically setting yourself ahead with a Loom video that most people don't use today. And I know this because I'm very active on Upwork through all my clients' accounts on Upmatch. So if you have any questions, feel free to comment it down below. I hope you guys found this video useful, and I'll see you guys in the next one.